General, this topic is so underrated. We want natural, candid photos. What do they actually mean?
The first thing you have to do is understand what you see, what the body language in front of you indicates.
Everything can be perfect, but if this important ingredient is missing, this photo doesn't have a spark.
How awkward it feels to be in front of the lens.
By relaxing our body, we can relax our mind as well.
Let's discuss a bit about body language.
Guidance is important. It's a skill that every wedding photographer should absolutely have because we're photographing people. It's a wedding photos we're talking about. Everyone wants to look gorgeous in wedding photos, especially.
The thing that they're afraid of is looking stiff, looking awkward, and feeling awkward. I would like to speak about our process. We are Roussos and Thanos Asfis,
Wedding photographers with over 2 decades of experience capturing wedding affairs around the world.
recognized by leading publications as among the top wedding photographers globally.
We're here to share the business and technical tips, the artistry behind our work,
And a few funny stories we've gathered along the way.
Most couples say we want candid photos, but what does candid really mean? Is it no direction at all? Or is it a direction so refined that it actually becomes invisible? Today we're going to talk about the psychology of directing real people, not models, and discuss can actually this direction and guidance coexist with authenticity.
Welcome to another episode of Unveiled. Please don't forget to subscribe, follow, and like, and leave comments. It's important for us to have your feedback so we can know what to improve and what to talk next.
So let's dive in. When couples say we want natural, candid photos, what do they actually mean?
Well, if there is one thing that we hear every time we have a Zoom call or before when we're trying to understand before the wedding, we will try to understand what the couple wants.
Candid photos.
Every
Everyone,
time.
yes.
It's every time. I mean, I would say 100%. And I understand this because one thing that we like to do is we also have once a year or maybe once every 2 years, we would like to be in front of the camera and be the model, be photographed by someone else. And you can understand how awkward it feels to be in front of the lens.
So I think when they say candid, it's not that they mean, like, what do they actually mean? They don't mean usually that I don't want you to guide me. In opposite, when you dive into the conversation, they actually want a lot of guidance. Mm-hmm. What they mean by candid, they mean effortless. They mean images filled with emotion. They mean them feeling comfortable and at ease during the process of taking photos. It's not the first meaning of candidness, candid photography that comes to mind.
The thing that they're afraid of is looking stiff, looking awkward, and feeling awkward, and ending up with an image that they're gonna look after, some years and gonna be like, what the hell was I doing? What the hell was I thinking?
Yeah, and also in the wedding photography, I mean, there are different ways, there are different genres within wedding photography. There is absolutely photojournalistic approach when photographer is like a flight on the wall and he's just observing. And that's absolutely fine. We belong to a different caste. We love direction and we love guidance and we love to bring our creative vision as much as possible into the day without disturbing and interrupting a documentary moment. And we love to guide. For me, guiding, I would say we prefer to say guiding. We mean posing. I just don't like this word, and nobody does. It sounds like very stiff, like you freeze in a specific pose and stay there. So let's agree that it's going to be guiding. I love guiding because very often awkwardness and stiffness comes just because they don't know what to do.
Well, when you, I don't know if you have ever had the chance to listen to another photographer, especially if someone that is not experienced, giving directions. And there is one thing that I hear many times, and it sounds like nonsense to me.
I know which one.
Act natural. Be yourself.
Be yourself. Just be yourself. I'll take photos.
Yeah, and really, this means nothing.
I think it's not only means nothing, it's the worst thing you can tell to a couple who already feels nervous being in front of the camera, because what does it really mean being myself? Me being myself when nobody's watching, laying on the couch, scratching my head. What does it mean, me being myself? So they get even more confused and they start doing stupid things, and usually it shows in the body language, more awkwardness, more stiff jaws, more pressed lips, more raised shoulders. That's the worst thing you can say to a couple.
Okay, I like what you said right now about the raised shoulders and the pressed lips and the hands. Let's discuss a bit about body language. Because I think that when you want to start using guidance as a tool for your photography, the first thing you have to do is understand what you see, what the body language in front of you indicates.
And what you capture. Because you capture body language. Actually, we capture light, you capture shapes, and you capture body language, which contributes to the way this image is perceived. And very often, you can see a photo and everything seems fine at the first glance. The couple is kissing, they're hugging, leaning towards each other. Like even most part of body language is there, but then one thing would give it away.
Can I say an example?
Go on.
So the one thing that I notice many times is I ask for my couples to kiss, and because they don't feel so comfortable at this moment, they just kiss without using their hands. Like they just lean in front.
It's awkward, yeah.
And
they
at this
freeze
moment,
there.
yes, at this moment you have to be able to recognize that no couple in the real world would ever kiss each other without using their hands, without approaching each other, without showing also with the whole body their intimacy.
Yes, and often it can be something really small. That's what I notice very often when someone is stressed. We usually raise our shoulders, even a bit, like you're like this, and tense. So I always look for this signs, and sometimes we clench our fists, very common for brides, especially when we're stressed. So she might be hugging him, but she has this fist instead of relaxed fingers. Or if she has her hand on his chest, it's like that, like aggressively spread fingers. So those are little signs that signal that she's feeling stress. And I want to say that it's absolutely normal to feel stressed. It doesn't mean that she doesn't love him. It probably means she feels uncomfortable being photographed, and it's very logical. She's not a model. It works both ways.
That's what I want to say.
By relaxing our body, we can relax our mind as well. So one good advice here is start with the cues like drop your shoulders, elongate your neck, breathe slowly, relax your fingers. I say this very often, lengthen and relax your fingers. So the moment that you start doing this, it will look more relaxed, but you also feel more relaxed eventually.
Yeah, it works both ways. So I would say one very important advice to every photographer out there that is starting or would like to improve his photography and his communication with the couples and make images that they look more candid, more natural. Study the body language. Try to understand these signs, be mindful of these signs, and when you notice them, give the right direction, the right guidance, so the couple, the bride, the groom will relax and will look more relaxed, and because it works both ways, they will feel better.
Absolutely. And actually, this takes me, when I used to study directing in the university, I remember we learned about the acting school of Meyerhold. He's a famous theater director. So he came up, like before there was a school of acting before him that was saying that an actor should first, for instance, feel the anger. So remember something that makes him angry, and then the anger will come into his body language, and then he will act anger, which is quite a difficult thing to do because you have to be able to recall a memory and put yourself in a state of mind that makes you angry. So Meyerhold proposed exactly the opposite strategy and approach. He said that you can start clenching your fist, clenching your jaw, maybe narrowing your eyes. You can replicate first all the body language that represents anger, and the anger will come. You will start breathing faster and so on. So this is way easier, and this is something that you can actually apply when working with non-professional models. So if you see that someone is stiff and stressed, do not start from still portraits when someone has to, like a bride or a groom, has to look at the camera.
Can I stop you there? Because I know what you're going to say. I want, before we leave from the body language, I would like to mention a few more signals, so we can, complete this chapter. Not complete. I mean, there are many signals that indicate the body, from the body that indicate how someone feels. But let's mention something that's we see again and again. That's really common. For instance, how you put your weight. You see
how you distribute your weight.
Yes, exactly. So when I see, for instance, a groom that stands straight, having his weight in both feet evenly.
Yes.
I understand.
Like a soldier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is defensive stance, or it can be also aggressive, depending if you lean forward or backwards. So the one thing that I would say right there is put your weight in one leg, so it looks more relaxed. And it's also important to describe and explain. And while you do that, try to use also a relaxed tone of voice.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many things to say about this topic. Tone of voice plays incredible role. And when you guide someone, if you guide someone into more romantic pose, into more gentle, sensual activity, let's say like kissing or hugging, you cannot be loud and everywhere and all over the place. You have to speak calm. You have to approach it, from the space and place of mind of romance. When you guide and want to create an image that is fun, that is full of energy, let's say bridesmaids or groomsmen having fun,
especially
you have to be energetic, especially with a big group. Otherwise, nobody will even notice or listen to you.
Yeah, you have to speak fast, have intensity, so you don't give them time to think. Go crazy now. That's it.
Yeah. I think one of the core principles for me when it comes to posing, because there are a few things when it comes to literal posing, like what's more flattering, tilting your head, elongated neck, long fingers, sitting that way rather than having your knees facing the camera. There are a lot of basic things that you can learn, you can find them anywhere, but then there is also an emotion that is cultivated by the posing and by interaction with the subject. And everything can be perfect, but if this important ingredient is missing, this photo doesn't have a spark. It just looks like a perfect pose. That's it. So
true.
It's very important to infuse this perfect pose with something real and effortless. That what actually makes it effortless, because she might sit perfectly and tilt her head perfectly, but if her eyes are frozen, if it's irrelevant, the emotion to the scene, this image will be just a boring image. But she can giggle or she can react to someone.
Exactly. So just to make it even more clear, first thing is you have to be able to give the right guidance so people will look and feel relaxed. Okay. Or if you want to have a fun image, to look like they're having fun. Okay. And the other thing that comes afterwards, the next step, is, you already said it, actions.
Actions and movements.
I would like to speak about our process, because actions and movements, and generally the prompts that you're going to use, they don't just come in our heads and out of nothing. We have a process to realize what this couple is capable of doing, is comfortable with doing,
Yeah.
and how they would also enjoy their day while having portraits. So let's discuss about this process. How do we get this information?
Yes. Actually, what we do is during the very first call, we ask the couple to share with us, of course, their vision, to share with us. We ask them questions that will make us understand who they are as a personalities. Because I think for us, it's very important that whatever we capture and whatever creative concept that we come up with, it makes sense to them and it represents their personalities and it's authentic to who they are. Because I don't want my bride to ask to pose for me or do a certain conceptual shot that has nothing to do with her. I can do it with a model. Like what kind of value this image is gonna have for her on the wedding day. So if we're gonna get creative, if we're gonna try something new, I want it to be meaningful to the couple.
And the one thing I would like to say is that we speak with our couples, and many times we ask them questions about their vision and try to understand how they would like to spend their day, how the photos would like to look. But because photography is a visual language, the best way to make the discussion is have a visual discussion. And the only way I can think of, and the way that you use, is exchange images through mood boards.
Yeah, and it's, oh my God, this is such a great homework for the couples as well. And it's a great way for you to include them into the creative process and start brainstorming creatively with you. Yeah. And oh my
it's
God.
Like turning the lock.
How many times, so just to explain, what we typically do is we ask our couples to prepare a mini mood boards with a collection of images they can find on Pinterest or anywhere, Instagram,
yeah,
that
Pinterest is the easiest.
They can relate to, or maybe fashion photos or couple portraits, anything that makes them relate, makes them excited, they like the vibe, they might like the pose. And you get so many surprises there because sometimes you feel like you're dealing with a conservative couple.
Yeah, they give you, all the information they give you is that they like, for instance, romantic photos. And then they send you the mood board and you see...
very daring, like, or even fashionable or fun moments which you would not imagine that
and you realize that, I can work differently with this couple. I can propose some ideas towards this direction.
So this is a great way to find out more, and it gives us an idea of what we can propose. It makes creative juices flow right away, and they also understand how we work. And I think we're just introducing the whole concept of this creative direction into wedding photography. Important thing to say here, I believe, is that we do not direct all the time. And it's very important to know where you can direct and where you just have to step back, zip it up, and observe and capture a real moment. Because we would never interrupt a real, genuine, candid moment for the sake to perfect it or to change the direction so the light falls better, like never.
Yeah, I would say that most of the photos that we produce, and I think that goes for every photographer, are reportage photos. Because we're talking about a real event, full of emotion, full of moments. So you don't want to interrupt everything to make it perfect. That's another that's another process. There you have to take the right angle with the action, with the light and everything, so everything is captured nicely. That's a different conversation. There are very few moments during the wedding, comparatively with the rest, that you can direct. And because you don't get the opportunity to use a lot of time to make portraits with your couples, that's why preparation matters. Because imagine that you have, I don't know, 1 hour throughout the whole day, something like that, to make portraits. Maybe half an hour before the ceremony if they have first look, and half an hour after the ceremony, and you also have to do the family portraits. So just to get them in the mood, understand them, and understand what they want, and find a creative idea. If you leave it if you leave all of this
To the wedding
to
day,
it's
yeah,
not going to
you're
happen.
doomed. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. You're just playing with luck here. That's not our approach, definitely. No, I think guidance is important. It's a skill that every wedding photographer should absolutely have because we're photographing people. And when it comes to posing, it's a wedding photos we're talking about. Everyone wants to look gorgeous in wedding photos, especially. And those are the photos that you're supposed to share and be proud of and look back at and feel chills and, heartbeats for the rest of your life. You want to look good. So I think it's my mission to make sure that I make my couples look good and I deliver the images that they're proud to look back and they will say, oh my God, we were so young and gorgeous and in love, So
Just to go back to the process, then taking this information from you. So one thing that we ask is how they envision the day. Another thing that we ask is if they can share with us photos of themselves that they love, or even more importantly, photos of themselves that they hate and why.
absolutely.
And you will be amazed by the information they're going to receive from this communication. Sometimes we have heard from brides or grooms that, I don't like my profile.
Very common, I think. Very common.
Or,
specific profile.
Yeah.
Left or right.
Or this is my good side. Or I don't like myself when I smile too much. And you have to take these things into consideration. For instance, if someone tells you that oh, I don't like myself when I smile too much, then maybe you should make more romantic photos, more intimate photos. That the mood is not about smiling; it's about kissing, hugging, things that they don't include smiling too much.
I remember actually this exact remark that thanks God she mentioned before the wedding about I don't like when I smile too much. It came from the bride. We would never guess that she had the gorgeous smile, but we all have such unique perceptions of ourselves, especially women. I mean, I've been complaining. I don't like how I look and hold this podcast anyway.
Oh my God, we have to make an episode just for that.
Okay, so there are standard things like double chin or flattened hand or things that nobody likes. But there's some other things like I don't like when my smile is too big. If she wouldn't have mentioned that, that's it. It would be a disaster. Nobody would know. Of course, you smile a lot on your wedding day. We literally had a serious conversation because smiling, it's a happy day, it's a wedding. So we're like, okay, what we're gonna do about this? And she was very logical. She understood this, like, okay, I'm gonna smile, of course, but whenever you can, if you see me smiling too much, just make me a sign. So we had this communication, which is extremely important because it's not, again, any random photo shoot that you can redo. It's your wedding photos.
Perfect. So we have so far the information of their vision. We know what they like and what they don't like. Next step is we want to make sure that we're going to have the time and space to create the images that we want. So this is another part that many photographers don't realize, that it's part of posing, it's part of guidance. Because if you don't prepare for that, if you don't know what time are we going to have the portraits, where, what will be the styling?
It's not only that, I think just at the core of it, creating a timeline is about allowing space. Allowing space to feel comfort and to create. And one of the things that nobody who is not professional model, most of people, they don't feel comfortable in front of the camera. Some people don't like to deal with a lot of attention. Then there's a stress, you're getting married on this day. So there are so many stressful factors. You're afraid the dress will not zip, the makeup will go wrong. So if you don't create a safe environment with enough time just to slow down, breathe, drop your shoulders, have a little giggle, a sip of champagne, a nice time with your girlfriends without being crazy, like putting mascaras. You have to create space for those authentic moments.
Exactly. So if the bride tells you that I want to have some photos with my bridesmaids, maybe before we in our dresses with wearing some bridal PJs, something like that, you want to make sure that first there is some time for that during the day, so you put it in a timeline, And you know, from this time to this time, we have half an hour, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever you can leave for this. And we're going to use this space that is neat. We don't have to clean at this point. We don't want to spend time doing this kind of chores. And we're going to do these actions that we saw in your mood board, and we also maybe put some more ideas in there and made it even more interesting, some more creative. And that way, everything will fall into place. And you will be able then to give the direction we're talking about, the body language, and they will be able to listen. Because first, they know what's happening, they feel safe. We have discussed about it.
Yeah.
We have the time for it, nobody feels stressed. We know that this is what we're supposed to do at this moment, and have the space ready for it.
So, one of the most important, I think, lines of this podcast, we don't talk so much about actual posing. We talk about psychology a lot here, and how to make people feel at ease, comfortable, and how to enhance those perfect poses that is easy to learn. Okay, perfect, like posing. There are few things that you do. You're not posing someone for the cover of the magazine. You need to know some basic things.
Just to say that we have a guide, a posing guide. It's called Effortless, and it's 300 images.
Pages.
Sorry, 300
Not images,
pages,
but many images. Yeah.
Full of images, full of illustrations and examples, and you can read there all the signs for that you can get from the body language, what you need to
and the
pay
cues that we
to.
usually use to help
So
people relax.
This is something that you can learn, but no matter if you know that or not, if you don't use this process, which again also we explain in the book, then you won't have the time, you won't have the space, and you will be also trying to find the ideas on the spot, and it's too many things to handle at this point.
Absolutely. And after all, for me, as we said already, the most important ingredient of candid photos is effortlessness. So, and the way that you can bring it in is, as we said, by introducing actions. So you pose them, you choose the perfect canvas first, then you pose the couple and the bridesmaids, and then let them do something that you've planned. For instance, they're gonna eat pizzas all together. Something meaningful and fun for them. So, of course, while they will be eating pizzas, the poses will not be as perfect anymore, but you will have a nice foundation, but the emotions will be flowing, and this is the most priceless thing. And I think curating those situations that can give birth to emotions like this and real reactions is a very big part of what we do, of the creative direction that we bring when it comes to wedding photography. And after all, it might be the pose might be not perfect, the light might be bad, but if there is a nice emotion in there, that photo will be the winner. So it's one of the most important ingredients after all.
Yeah.
So do not forget about it. You pose them, but let the emotion happen.
Yes.
You have to know how to provoke and how to guide, not provoke, but how to guide towards this emotion.
Yeah, and to highlight what Anna said, emotions come when couples stop thinking, or couples, groups, whatever you have to photograph, stop thinking and start acting. So, as we said with the process, you make the time, you make the space, you have the vision, everything is set, and you do your micro adjustments, and then at the end, you introduce the action and let things flow. Especially, even if you haven't done any of this, if you just have some time to photograph a friendly couple or whatever, or you came to the wedding unprepared and you have some time to grab some photos, I would say try to make your couple move, try to make them walk, try to to make them interact with each other, give prompts that they're gonna make them forget that this is a photo session.
Remember about the way body language works. So if you see that it's stiff, turn it around and the emotion will follow.
Mm-hmm. And also use the right tone of voice so you're aligned with them, and sometimes even mirroring what you want to achieve.
I think in general this topic is so underrated because from one hand we say, okay, we're photographing a documentary event, two people are getting married. There are so many documentary parts of that day that it's mainly a documentary, like photography. But it's so important to, for us at least, to bring our creative direction and make sure that we can create the moments, we can help the emotions unfold, and we can make sure that our couples feel natural. And this is a skill. This is something that you can train. You can train your eye to notice body language, and I think it's something that every wedding photographer should be able to do, no matter if he's just going even more on photojournalistic side rather than guidance and posing.
Totally. So that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed this conversation. As always, we're going to close this episode with a quote. So Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung said, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. So see you soon.
And don't forget to subscribe and comment. We would like to hear your thoughts, and write us what did you think about this topic. Thank you.